And we're now live.
And I hit this.
You can just hit the refresh button. Bango.
This one.
Yeah, look at you. We're like a true professional.
Look at that. Yep, but we got Kitty Cat here. All right. Hi, Deidre. Welcome. Mary Jane, good to see you. Catherine, how are you? If you guys could let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. That would help Paul out a lot. Lex, welcome. I'm going to give this a second for a few people to tune in before we jump into this. Okay, welcome, Remy. All right, very good. Thank you. We got a couple thumbs up here. Andrea. All right, good to see you guys. So I do want to make a couple announcements while we wait for people to tune in. The first one being that tomorrow is the last call to join the Psychic Mediumship course. Now, the reason it's the last call is because after the third week, it's going to be really hard for you to catch up. So maybe you can, but, you know, I hate to see people struggle straight out of the gate. So if you were thinking of joining, this would definitely be the time. From here on out, we are working with a publishing company. And so things are going to be a little bit different in terms of like becoming a student here for 2021-2022. That's a long story. We'll be launching that advertisement soon. All right, so if you want to join Psychic Mediumship class, reach out to Paul. You go to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com to do that. Also, a lot of people seem to not be aware that I do readings, so which is funny to me because like I sit here and I do this, but I don't think I explain very much that I actually do this. Also, this is my profession. So it's not like a hobby. I just come on here to do these shows. This is my full-time gig. So if you need a reading, you can go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com to book that. And if you want to set up a party or, you know, an event or something like that, you can do it there. Also, I'm doing everything 100% virtual these days until things calm down with COVID, but people love those online parties. If you do need a reading fast or a healing quickly, we also have Ivy's Healing Call Center open 7 days a week. So you don't have to wait. So you can check that out through the website as well. Now, the last announcement I want to make, well, actually, I forgot to tell you guys, start posting your questions. Okay, so your questions can be psychic, mediumistic, if you're wanting to hear from a lost loved one or pet, anything about your love life, your work, your house, anything like that. They can also be about spiritual development, paranormal, lost objects, anything goes, but do include names. Paul's going to skip over any questions that don't involve names. So if you're asking about somebody specifically, living or deceased, or you're debating on two different jobs, at least give initials there. It speeds up the process so I can get onto your neighbor faster. The last announcement I want to make is that Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, back here on YouTube, is a free mini class. I've been doing 1 to 2 free mini classes per week during the pandemic called the Quarantine Series. And if you want to see all the mini classes, hit the playlist. Paul has them beautifully organized there. Thank you, Polly.
You're welcome.
So Thursday is how to confront and when to forgive. Now, this class is going to be about understanding in wisdom how to approach and confront, when to do that, and how to understand when it's simply not worth it. You just need to let this one go, or like not even deal with this person or situation anymore. Some things aren't worth your energy, and other times it is literally your responsibility to confront. And a lot of people have trouble with confrontation, and some people confront too easily, too much. Okay, so there is wisdom in knowing how and when to do that. And the other half of the class is going to be about forgiveness. A lot of people are struggling More so, I think, now than ever, because we don't have distractions. We're still in the pandemic. We can't turn toward escapism the way we used to be able to. So a lot of people are dealing with shadow work. They're dealing with trauma responses. They're dealing with triggers coming to the surface. And sometimes that is a sign that we need to do some forgiveness exercises. So we'll be going through that as well. All right. Hope to see you guys for that. Are we ready? Should I do my announcement?
Members and
members
donations.
and you guys want to? We just got a member? Well, you beat me to it. Who is this? Christine Bolton. All right. Welcome, new member, Christine. She beat me to it. So if you guys want to become a member here on my YouTube channel, you can hit that join button. Now, this gives you behind the scenes extras, footage, and more class information, as well as direct spirit messages. And everybody, depending on what level, will actually get a message directly to you, not just even the group. For the month, your monthly horoscope, all kinds of different things. So check it out. And if you guys are so inclined to leave a donation, feel free to do that by, I guess, hitting that donation button. Not sure exactly where that is, but that is also greatly appreciated. I'm going to ask everybody right now to hit this like button right there. Give this a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell for alerts when I go live or post, okay, if you enjoy what you're seeing here. So again, post your questions, psychic, mediumistic, empathic, spiritual development, anything, but do include names. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally, online, in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to Reiki, astrology, numerology, tarot, you name it. Children as well as adults, so we hope to see you here for classes. This is my Monday night show called Ask Ivy, where I take your questions. I also do classes here, and we have Roots Revival Interfaith, our church, every Sunday here at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, are we ready to get started?
I do believe.
Okay, who's first?
Let's start with Jane.
Okay.
Will my three-way friendship work out? I feel like my friendship with them is kind of fading away, and their initials are AL and AI.
You know, I feel sort of a lack of caring from them. I also feel from AI some level of chatter. So there could be some speech that isn't really helpful with keeping the relationship on track. And I think it's really important that you pay attention to things like your ears ringing. If you get a strange tinnitus, okay, or a feeling of pressure in your ears, especially the right ear, that could be a warning. Your left ear, I feel your loved ones coming through trying to talk with you. I do have a grandmother here who's answering this for you, who watches over, who just wants you to kind of guard your heart a little bit more, but in a lighthearted way, which is funny, right? Because that's sort of like polar opposite ideas. But the way she shows me that she wants you to do this is by kind of keeping your cards close to your vest, kind of keeping your heart close in your chest. Don't wear it on your sleeve with these people, but, also don't care. If they're not putting in a lot of effort, if it seems like it's a pretty lackadaisical attitude that they have towards your friendship, know when to reciprocate that. It's not your job. You don't want to make a career out of having to caretake over it. I think that this is teaching you a lot about boundary setting and staying in your lane. And it's really important that when you deal with anybody, your children, friends, your spouse, you're not putting out more than what they are. It should be at a certain age, of course. It should be within a healthy boundary. And if you're not seeing that, you're just wasting your energy and you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay. That's how that feels to me.
This is from Maya.
Okay.
I'm just wondering about visitations from past loved ones and if that can be something we can initiate.
Of course. So it is a huge myth still being taught internationally today by supposed light working gurus, right? That it is bad, that it's almost shameful for you to initiate dialogue with spirit, which is ridiculous. This is why we've gotten nowhere in the dialogue. This is why the language is what I always say is a lost language. because we want to be passive. I call it the passive method, okay? The old school traditional method of basically sitting and waiting to receive and doing nothing. And then when we do receive a message from them, we don't know how to decipher it. We still don't know what it means. And so it gets us nowhere. Absolutely. You want to be an active participant in your discussion with spirits. You also want to use discernment. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Okay.
All right. This is from Alan.
Okay.
Yes. There's a girl at my work named Emma. I'm wondering if I should pursue a relationship with her.
I feel like this is a bit of a miss. It feels to me like a little cat and mouse in some ways. And I almost feel like if you go up to her, it may become a thing where she kind of pulls away. And so I think what's okay to do, because you're interested, and I get the feeling that you don't like to have stones left unturned. You know, you could become almost like, not obsessive, but you can't get past it if you don't try. I don't think there's any harm in you approaching her, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reaction. And then what seems to happen after that is that she sort of comes back, okay? And then there seems to be this sort of playful cat and mouse banter going on again. I think that this is more about a lighthearted connection, like a friendship or even just a work friendship, more than anything else.
Okay, we have one from Faye.
Okay.
Will the mistakes I'm dwelling on from the past follow me? Will I be able to live in peace?
Well, that's up to you entirely. So that's a decision that you make. Right now, you're not making the right one, so yes. But you could change that at any time. It's about mind control. It's about self-control, decision-making, self-love, understanding that something that is no longer of use to you, is no longer helping you grow. It doesn't aid in your happiness or your wellness. You have to determine that that is now officially toxic for you, whether you caused it or not. That has nothing to do with it. And you want to say, with a situation like that, okay, what did I learn? So you take all the lessons, wring out all the lessons that you can from it, and then you can use those lessons to convert the negativity into positivity. So we're talking about alchemy. You want to be able to make use of what happened and own it, not let it own you. We did a church service. Was it our first church service? Called Alchemy, How to Convert Negativity into Positivity.
It was, yeah.
So go on to my playlist for Roots Revival Interfaith and go to the first church service we did. This was the first thing I talked about. You can do it. You can do it, but you're going to have to work hard at it. Yes.
Okay, this one is from Deirdre.
Okay.
What is going on with my relationship with my sister Colleen?
What's going on, just in general?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say that in regards to Faye, I understand you're also asking, like, literally, are some of these things going to follow you? Yes, they will. Yes, they will. So all the more reason for you to learn how to deal with it. Okay. What's going on with Colleen? I don't know specifically what you want me to look at, so I'll just give you the general, like, overall energy coming from Colleen, and that is distant and detached, and like she has a wall up, and like she doesn't want to talk. I don't know if this is just with you or if this is really with everybody. It seems as though this is with like a side of the family or a group of people. And my feeling with her is that she's a little bit scrambled. She is scrambling to cultivate what she thinks she wants in her life, but it's very disorganized. She's feeling disempowered, and she definitely has a sense about her where she can't sort of get the upper hand and feel confident and at peace and rooted and grounded in her life. And so it's like there's a lot of blame going on. Okay, so people who aren't owning their energy and aren't comfortable with themselves and aren't mindful and don't have a growth mindset, they blame other people and situations. And it can lead to a lot of severed relationships or toxic communication. Not to say that everything in this situation is like her fault or anything like that. But I definitely think that until she can handle this part, you may have to continue to ask this question. What is, what's going on? And she seems to want to keep everything to herself. So this stuff that she is going through is like mine. Like she holds on to it and not almost like a trophy of pain, and she just doesn't want to share. Okay, so there's not a ton you can do.
Okay, this one is from Christine.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where I am with my abilities and psychic awareness. So I need to know which way to head. I've been kind of thrown into mediumship without meaning to be.
Right. Well, we do have 3 classes up here called Are You a Psychic, a Medium, or an Empath? So you're going to want to check those out on the playlist. When you listen to other people's questions about what abilities they have, a lot of it will refer back to what you're going through and, help you figure that out. Everyone's born a medium. Everyone's born a psychic. It's not a gift, but some of us do have it to a heightened degree. I think that you have been tapping in to some healing abilities, or like a spiritual journey, like very deliberately. I feel like you deliberately set out to train yourself, and to open up Pandora's box, so to speak. And that's exactly what you got. And now I feel like you sort of don't know what to do with it, or that you even know what it means. So I'm going to recommend the Psychic Mediumship course to you here if you want to actually learn the language. No one else internationally teaches the actual language. You're not going to understand what's going on, I feel, until you learn the language. And the spirits will keep coming. Boundary setting is going to be key. We have classes here on YouTube for that. You're also going to want to, how do I want to say this? Sort of tone it down a little bit with all the psychic stuff. Make sure you're not overfeeding. Even with things that may seem like simple or harmless to you, like, long extended meditations, that can reach a point where it's kind of toxic for people. Try to get rooted and grounded here where you are before you're elevating it anymore or trying to give it out to people. Understand you, understand your abilities, understand your energy, get control. You first, others second. Okay. It's like they would say to a parent on an airplane, your mask first, your kid's mask second. You can't pour from an empty cup. Right now it's overloaded. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is from Lola.
Okay.
Do I know Demonte from my past life? I can't understand my love for him.
I almost wonder if at one point this was a child for you. And I see another past life where you guys seem to be in an almost battle-like scenario where it feels like he was the man and was trying to protect you. That to me feels a little bit more like teamwork. I don't know how romantic that was able to, I don't know how romantic that could get. Okay. I think given the circumstances, sometimes when we're looking at difficult circumstances like war, people can't really commit. But it does seem to be a combination of these two, including the one where you may have been the parent. And so there's this funny thing going on where he wants to protect you, but you also want to protect or caretake for him. And I think it's actually a nice balance, even though it doesn't work like perfectly or all the time. You guys are still working through some issues. I think that makes it so that there's almost a nice sense of teamwork a lot of the time, and the potential for you guys to really build something this time around. So yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Okay, we have one from Jay Lynn.
Okay.
I currently have a temp job. However, I'm looking for something stable. Can you tell me when I will find something permanent?
I think 3 months. It's possible it'll come up in 3 weeks, but they say 3, and it felt to me a little further out. I think that what you're supposed to be doing right now is like excelling where you are. So there's just a lot of talk here about, how do I want to say this? It's almost like you showing up and bringing your A game, and sometimes maybe feeling like no one notices, or like this is a waste, or like it's just temp work. I've been there. I did that once, and I kind of felt like I was lost in the system. Like, wait, who even knows who the heck I am? But I think the eyes are on you, and I think that your attitude is being identified. Your hard work and your effort and your consistency is being identified. And I wouldn't be surprised if that leads to an offer directly. Yeah. So bring your A game, and it's right around the corner.
I want to thank our new members here, Christine Bolton, Crystal Nigro, and Andrea M. That's fantastic.
Welcome.
And I want to thank Lola for her donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the donation.
And, Maya, Ellen, and Deirdre all said thank you. And Deirdre said, yes, you were so right about the sister. So
the sister, yeah.
Yeah, nailed that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's tough.
It is. This one is from Amanda.
Okay.
Said, I was wondering about fairies. I see them all the time, like a different dimension. Is there a reason that I see them?
Well, because you believe in them, you'll see whatever you believe in. I don't believe in them. I have no proof of them. And that may sound funny coming from a psychic medium, but I have proof of everything I talk about, like actual proof. Like I can prove I'm talking to so-and-so because he'll give me a piece of solid proof. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any proof of them. What I do, and I have seen personally, believe in are elementals. And I think that there's a lot of confusion between elementals and fairies in the same way that there's a lot of confusion between angels and aliens. Because, for example, angels, the way they actually look is like long tubular light beings with like these very long faces. So I think that if you're really in tuned to something like nature and the elementals of nature, then you would be in tune to the sort of fantasy aspect of that. Or if it's real for you, then it's real. Of things like, maybe Ireland or the fairy lands and things like this. And again, I say this in here all the time to my students, whatever you feed, you get more of. Okay, so that's an area where you feel comfortable and you want to see more interaction. So, yeah. And don't get me wrong. Some people listening to this are like, what? Elementals? Like, I thought they were bad. There are bad elementals. There are, if you have a paranormal problem that's like an infestation, that could be an elemental problem. Those aren't the ones I'm referring to. I'm referring to the nature ones that are often confused for fairies. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is from Catherine.
Okay.
How can I overcome the blocks that I've been laying on myself? What do I have to do to stop shorting myself?
Well, we did a free mini class here called Your Fear of Leveling Up. And I taught you in that class, go to the playlist, how to remove your blocks and obstacles, how to get out of your own way. We did another one called How to Check Your Ego. And I find that most people who come to me complaining about the same thing that you are, getting in their own way, having blocks and obstacles, even when they really, really want to get past it, they seem to have trouble maintaining the change, or they understand it, but they can't implement the change. What we want to do is get our ego in check, because it's sort of like having a God complex. You have become too fearful. You have become too controlling. You are manipulating too much, and you don't know how to let go. So the opposite of fear and ego and control is faith and love and being on path, being in alignment with the universe. And you're going to have to start forcing yourself to tap into the other side. So check out that class too. Okay, so how to check your ego. And the other one is Your Fear of Leveling Up.
I put those in the chat description, so as a reminder for everybody.
Good. How to check your ego is good for you guys too. If you're tuning in and you're a light worker, you want to be a healer. Because the title of the class officially is How to Check Your Ego, and then I added in light work and beyond. So it's for everybody in the everyday, but also in light work. You got to get these basics under your belt. Yeah. Yeah,
and I just want to add that it's often things you don't associate with ego. And like,
right.
So you wouldn't you would say, oh, I don't have an ego, but these are certainly calling it out, and it's not something that you were expecting to.
For sure. When I'm referring to ego, it's probably pretty rare that I'm referring to like a hoity-toity attitude that you have. It's more about fear and control and an unwillingness to abide within universal law.
All right. This one is from Vanita.
Okay.
I've been seeing so many angel numbers along with other signs. What is Spirit trying to tell me?
Well, one of the things that you're going to want to do is look up numerology. So I do see numbers following you specifically. We have a numerology class here. Angels do like to use numbers, not with everybody, but with numerology people. I do think that you are one. You would notice patterns in your life where people were born and maybe died on the same day, or like you have an anniversary of something and then you have a baby on that day. So like almost like numbers adding up in patterns in your life. This is a sign that you also worked with numbers in your past lives, okay? So it is part of your symbol base, your messaging system with the universe. So not just angels, but like all of your spirits are going to be using it. One of the things that I feel going on is that you're confusing a lot of angel activity for what is actually your guides. So I would recommend the Meet Your Guides class. You don't seem to be understanding when they're coming and giving you direction. You're thinking that you're having some kind of angel encounter, and that has nothing to do with it at all. Now, your guides are here to direct you on what changes you need to make in your life and how to maximize your prosperity and protect yourself sometimes. There is some talk of them trying to help you to increase your happiness and your joy, and some talk of potential travel, possibly like 6 months out from now, and a lot of talk of you getting into nature, you getting down to the beach, you going down to the water, and things like this. So I think that there are some lovely things that they're trying to show you and lead you to that we don't want to see you miss out on, but I think there's some hard work that also needs to be done. So we really need to all understand the difference between when a deceased loved one or an ancestor is talking versus when a spirit guide is talking versus when an angel comes to visit, which is actually quite rare. Yeah.
Okay. This is from Gabriel.
Okay.
Could you give me clarity on how to properly protect myself from my narcissist friend group who has demons attached to them? It seems like they never want to let me go, and they're obsessed with me.
Well, that's up to you. I mean, you've basically decided that anyone can control you, you know. If some crazy stalker came and followed you into a dark parking lot at night and decided to just persuade you to come to the car and you knew you shouldn't, and then you ended up in the trunk and you were taken off and abducted, I mean, would you be like, well, they took me, you know? No. Now I'm a ghost, you know? No, boundaries are key. The feeling I'm getting from this is that you like it, you know? You like the attention. I think that you need to look inside, and I think you need to figure out where you have gaps and losses where you're not loving yourself enough. It seems that you're expecting other people to give you love and attention that you need to be giving yourself. You have to start setting healthy boundaries with people that are toxic like that through no contact even. And once you start loving yourself more, setting healthy boundaries with the world around you, you're going to start attracting the right people. Okay, so there's no such thing as people just sucking you back in. However, we do have a class called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. If you want to check that out on the website, and that will help you to cut those cords and really instill those boundaries in such a way where they're pretty impenetrable, if that is, in fact, what's going on. But you can't re-invite it in, or it doesn't work. So, yeah.
Okay, this is from Andrea.
Okay.
I ran across a person that said they are a healer and a witch. Is that possible or any good?
You know what? People throw that word around so much today. I don't even know what it means. It's like someone saying, well, I'm spiritual. Spiritual in what? Mm-hmm. Who are you channeling? Who do you deal with on the other side? What does that even mean? People say I'm a witch. A witch how? Like you work with herbs and medicines, kind of like a shaman? Or you're like a witch, like you're into dark arts and spell casting, or like negativity? What does that even mean? And then people say, I'm a healer. And these days I have found that more than half of the healers out there are toxic and are spreading their toxicity to others. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't done any shadow work. It's a train wreck out there right now. Plus we're going through the awakening. So everyone wants to make a quick buck. I would be careful, very careful. You have to get everybody to define what they even mean by it. You know, some people think they're from another planet and that they're a representative for another planet right now, you know, and like, they don't even know how to live on Earth yet. They don't even know how to get rooted and grounded and be here and take care of themselves, you know, but they want to help everybody else because they're a representative from another planet. It's getting nuttier and nuttier every day. People need to learn the basics, you know, and I also think it's not, you know, it's not up to you and it's not up to me to correct everybody. Let them do what they want to do. Just focus on you. Stay in your lane. Pay attention to your own self. If it sounds like that's not accurate or that's not true, it probably isn't. But I guess it depends on their concept of what these two things mean and if it fits for them. And if it does, then that's good. I may not go purchase a reading off of them or a healing, but, you know, hey, it is.
Or an herbal soda.
Not drinking the crystal water or nothing, but, you know, hey, you never know.
This is from Casey.
Okay.
Good evening from Seattle. I've been dating Dwayne for the last 4 years. Do you see us getting married or better to move separate ways?
Well, good to see you from Seattle. You know, here's the thing. Honestly, with Dwayne's energy, it's sort of stuck. It's just not really the kind of person who's going to put in the effort or has the motivation to make this thing work out. That's more on your end. And I think that here's a good way to say this. I think you're ready, and I think he's not. And I would not be surprised if, and I can't guarantee this because you both have free will, but it would not shock me if I talk to you like 2 or 3 years down the road and he wants you back, but you've moved on. And it's getting a little interesting where we're sort of revisiting this thing, but you've decided to sort of close that chapter and get on with your life. And I do honestly feel like that might be the healthiest thing to do. Now, you know, is it possible that there will be a proposal here? I think there's still like a 35% chance. Again, you guys have free will. I can't say for sure. I think there's still a chance that will happen, but that doesn't change what I'm feeling energetically. People can get married and still not be committed. So you have to really ask if that's what you want, you know? Yeah.
This is from Jen.
Okay.
I want to know if my dad Hector is here. I smell his cologne sometimes, and I thought I felt him grab my arm.
Well, I don't know what you mean by here. He's not earthbound, and he's not here like literally right now in that physical sense. I am energetically able to connect with him, sort of like on the phone. And yeah, his cologne seems to be really almost like prominent. And I smell him coming in with somebody else too, almost like cigarettes or cigars. So he's not always alone. What was her question? Is he around?
Is he here?
Yeah, for sure. He's around, but he has crossed into the light, and so he travels back and forth. Now, the important thing to remember about any spirits that are in the light is that you can communicate with them anytime. Like I said, it's like picking up a phone. You can contact him telepathically and let him know that you want to talk with him, you want to hear from him, you want to see him. Now, you don't always get them right in that moment because they have a life and they're doing other things. But they will receive that message. And so it's kind of like dropping a text. I think that one of the things he likes to use is your dreams. And so watch for him there. I also feel him communicating with you when you're in the bathroom, which always sounds weird, but this is about something called clairaudient ability. So if you get a ringing in your ears or a pressure, like a tinnitus, or when an airplane goes up and comes down, that is a sign that his spirit's trying to communicate. And what he does after that is put thoughts in your head. Okay, so the thoughts that you're having, especially when you're in the bathroom, are not all your own. And I think he uses song lyrics also. I see him in rainbows as well. And this doesn't have to be literal rainbows in the sky. Watch for prisms or images of rainbows. I feel that he's trying to help you almost like level up in your life right now. He shows you growing up, and it's almost like standing up. And you'll be hearing more from him, but at this point, you have to interact in a different way. Instead of just sort of passively wondering if he's around, talk with him more and then receive what he gives. It's not your imagination. Okay.
This is from David.
Okay.
I'm struggling with burnout / depression in a toxic, dysfunctional workplace, and I feel like it's time to quit. I can't tell if this is the universe forcing me to move on or if I'm supposed to stay.
Well, I don't feel like you're supposed to stay. I feel like the last year has been like that for you with work, where you've been in a bit of a transitional stage and could potentially be using that to move up. When I talk about moving up, I'm always referring to your life contract, meaning what you signed on to do before you came to Earth. I don't care about anything else. Nothing else will count. Okay, so we need to get you on path with the work you're supposed to be doing. And about a year ago, this thing expired. Okay, whatever you've been working on. And I think that what they wrote here for you was creative. And they put creative in a square. Now, anytime I get anything in a square, it means it's destiny charted. It's fixed. It's written in the stars for you, Vedic, Western, numerology, your life contract. You have to be creative. This place that you've been working at and everything you've been doing for about a year and 3 months or so, it's like squelching you. And even when you get to be a little bit creative, I just don't feel like you have any zest for it anymore. It's almost like you can't be re-energized through it. And so I do think that it's time to go. I think it's been time to go. I think that you don't want to wait until you get to this point. And this is for everyone who's tuning in. Don't wait until you're so burnt out. Like the universe would have shown you, again, a year ago, about some changes you were supposed to make. It's really important that you start looking at other opportunities and breathing the fresh air, spreading your wings. What else do you want to do? And stop limiting yourself. You have limiting thoughts about yourself or what you can get and what you can do. And you're going to have to put that aside. This is a big test for you. Good luck out there. Looks like a good year, though. You're going to get past it. And I saw you, you have a grandfather here who put you in some new shoes. And it's like almost like a new suit. Okay, which doesn't have to literally be a suit, but it is a power symbol. And the new shoes are key to like where you're going. You've probably never been. And you're going to be well equipped. And they do look like money shoes, okay, like business shoes. So I like that. Yeah, and he gives you a cigar. He's smoking a cigar. That's celebration, okay? Just move and be bold. I would also recommend talking to your work guide every day, 10 minutes every day till you've gotten at least through this part of the process, and just say to your work guide, what should I focus on today? And listen, okay? Start tapping in and tuning out all this noise in your head. All right, everybody. It was a pleasure working with you. Polly, thank you so much. Spirit, thank you. Thank you for the donations. Welcome, new members. I will see you guys back here Monday at 8, but I will see you before that Thursday here at 8 p.m. for the mini class, when to confront, how to confront, and how to forgive and let go. All right, thanks so much, everybody.